You've probably seen this video. That's a plastic straw being pulled out of a sea turtle's nose. The video went viral in 2015, sparking a public outcry to, quote, say no to plastic straws. And over the years, the campaign has gained traction. Starbucks says by 2020, it will eliminate plastic straws, pivoting to biodegradable straws and a newly designed lid. McDonald's UK, American Airlines, and Marriott Hotels have all announced similar changes. So why do plastic straws suck? Starbucks says, quote, one of the major issues with plastic straws is that they are too small and lightweight to be captured in modern recycling equipment. We reached out to various recycling plants across North America to see if that was true. While some facilities told us they do recycle straws, 2 of the largest recycling facilities in the US said its machines don't always catch straws. So they end up in the trash and eventually in landfills. So frustrating. I know. Another place straws tend to end up? Beaches. Dr. George Leonard is the chief scientist for Ocean Conservancy.
It's the data from our 2017 International Coastal Cleanup, and there were 643,000 plastic straws that were picked up around beaches and waterways all over the world.
To limit the use of straws, Starbucks introduced a new lid that resembles a sippy cup. These new lids are made from polypropylene, which, according to Starbucks, can be widely recycled. But there's one major problem.
You know, the objective really was to phase out straws because they're not recyclable. The shift to this lid really increases the amount of plastic that Starbucks is using per cup. I think it could be part of a solution, but I don't think it's the whole picture.
Some critics have pointed out that straws only make up a fraction of our plastic waste. So why is everyone so worked up about them?
I think straws are a bit of a poster child here for the bigger question of society's kind of over-reliance on single-use plastics and the fact that a lot of this stuff is ending up in our marine environment. All plastics ultimately sort of break down and fracture into smaller and smaller bits of plastic as a result of being tossed around by the waves and then by the fact that sunlight basically makes the plastic brittle. And so they create what we call microplastics. We're finding these flecks of plastic in everything from the forage fish that are at the base of the food web up through the kinds of fish that we end up putting on our dinner plate. If we get the kind of global plastic users and the major brands like Starbucks and some of these other companies like Coca-Cola that everybody knows about to really take ownership of their contribution to this problem and alter their business practices, they can be real leaders here and they can bring the rest of the plastic supply chain along with them.
So how do we start?
We need to be more thoughtful about how we use plastic.
We do know that there's about 8 million metric tons of plastic overall that ends up in the world's oceans every year, and that's kind of thought to be one garbage truck worth, per mile of beach per day.
About half of that plastic comes from countries in Southeast Asia that don't have formal waste management systems.
Much of their local waste is disposed in sort of informal ways, whether it's behind a house or at a community dump, which is essentially sort of an open pit, or in some cases directly dumped into the ocean itself.
In countries like the US, plastic can also be swept down drains into rivers leading to the sea. It can be flushed down the toilet or left behind by beachgoers. So what should we be doing differently? For starters, pay closer attention to your personal habits.
Get into the habit of bringing our own cup, fork, bag, straw. That's what I have in my bag at all times.
Stop flushing things other than human waste and toilet paper down the toilet. And remember, anything that goes down the toilet, drain, or into sewers goes to the ocean.
All drains lead to the ocean, kid.
Plastic straws be banned?
Hell yeah, they should.
Should we ban plastic straws?
Absolutely.
Do you think we should ban plastic straws?
I do.
Why do you think that?
Because they're bad for the environment and they cause a lot of pollution. They kill the baby sea turtles.
What else should we ban to help save the environment?
Oh my goodness. Come up with a better idea for like plastic lids on to-go cups and
paper lids.
Paper lids would be great.
What do you guys do to help eliminate your carbon footprint?
Recycle.
Wow. Heartwarming. What else could we do to help fix the environment?
I think, what I've been seeing in different places, people have just been planting fruit trees in public streets, and that's dope.
In the ocean, if you cut open a fish, I saw an article about this, and all that's inside them are plastic straws.
Should businesses be able to choose whether or not to use plastic, or should the government just tell them they can't use it?
I think the government should tell them we should stop using plastic.
Think about it, people could eat fruit for free, planted by the state, trees planted by the state, they could eat fruit, homeless people could eat fruit, and it's giving oxygen into the air.
So the government pays for the fruit trees?
Sure, why not?
And what do you think's worse? Plastic straws here, or people coming into this country illegally?
Oh my god, plastic straws!
Think?
That isn't all. Yes!
Okay. What do you think is the best alternative to plastic straws?
Well, the place that I work, we started using paper straws, and a lot of people have an issue with paper straws because they're
Soggy?
flimsy, soggy.
What do you think's a bigger priority to stop? Plastic straws or illegal immigration?
A bigger priority. I would say straws.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our panelists and also our audiences. So today we are going to discuss a new topic and with different panelists. Okay, as we know, for the past few years, the urge of reduce the plastic bags in Malaysia has been applied, and some or majority of Malaysian has started the campaign, and they bring their own shopping bags to the mall. But these days, there are some hot issues according to plastic straws. Okay, so I found an article in the internet that mentioned people use more than 20 million plastic straws in a week. So this statement is very worrisome to Malaysia. Okay, as I mentioned just now, we are going to discuss a new topic, and our topic is to replace the plastic straws with biodegradable straw. Okay, as a moderator, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Ilya Dalila binti Azhar. So before we starting our forum, let me introduce our panelists for today. So first panel is Mr. Muhammad Farid Azman, which is the director of WWF Malaysia, which is one of the famous non-government organization. And second panel is Dr. Dina Fariha, which is first question I would like to ask Mr. Farid, which is what is your view of other way to replace plastic straw in our country?
Alright, thank you to the moderator. So my opinion, there is also an effort to waste from biodegradable products. Just bring your own cups and straws. Maybe Malaysia should take the initiative for alternative innovation. We can carry a stainless steel straw set for when we goes out. This set come with a brush, so it can rinse immediately after use and wash it thoroughly once at home. We can buy the set from a seller on Facebook. It comes in a closed pouch. Besides, we can use glass straw. While the use of metal, glass and paper straw opens another debate alongside the question of completely biodegradable materials, WWF Malaysia believes this is a fantastic first step towards the sustainability of our environment. This replacement translates from concern and initiative by our government, business and members of public. WWF Malaysia strives towards the benefit of our future generation by working to stop the degradation of the planet's natural environment and to build a future in which humans live in harmony with nature. Dedicate effort by each person to saving the environment is in turn saving humankind. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Farid, for your explanation. So, as Mr. Farid mentioned just now, there is a lot of innovation in Malaysia, so it may help our lives, our daily lives. Okay, so for the next question, I would like to ask Dr. Dina, how drinking out of plastic straws is bad for our health?
Thank you to our moderator, Ms. Ilya. Back to the question, the untold truth about bad effects of plastic straw are gas bloating, icky chemicals, and cavities. I could say that the case of bloating need to avoid because it is an annoyance to start our day. Drinking through plastic straw give you this illness because the air bubbles in the digestive tract.
Okay.
Next is icky chemicals. It's all about plastic straw unsafe because it is made from polypropylene derived from petroleum that could be dissolved in our beverage. It could be worsened in acidic drinks, UV light, and heat. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dina. So, for the explanation, I would like to explain what is propylene. Okay, propylene is actually a lightweight resin that can be melted and it has good thermoplastic properties. So that's why it has been used in the making of the straws. Okay. Next question. Okay, for the next question, I would like to ask to our third panelist, which is Ms. Hamza. Okay, can you tell us your view on using biodegradable or metal straws?
Alright, thank you to our moderator. So in my point of view, people around the world are becoming aware of single-use straws has on the environment. Based on an information that I got on a country that has applied banning straws, 500 millions of single-use straws that are being thrown away are affecting the environment, filling landfills and polluting the oceans and killing sea creatures like dolphins and turtles. In response to this crisis, many cities and countries are taking actions and starting to ban the plastic straws or reduce them in daily life. But in rush to reduce using plastic straws in everyday life, many of us didn't know how it would affect the disabled community. Millions of people with disabilities need straws every day to go on about their daily life. They might have muscle weakness or cerebral palsy, which they can't hold a glass, or having difficulty with muscle movements and coordination. That's why they need to use straws every day.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hamza, for your explanation. Okay, just now, three of our panelists has stated their own opinion about the using of biodegradable straws. So next, I would like to ask Mr. Hafiz to give his opinion about this straws issue that urged to replace it with biodegradable straw.
Okay, thank you to our moderator, Ms. Ilya Nadira. In my opinion, plastic straw should not be banned because there are some people who need plastic straw, and plastic straw give them freedom to drink independently. People with disabilities often to use plastic straws, as Robin Powell, a woman with physical disabilities that affect her arms and legs. And this banning straws issue will affect my factory income and that would involve millions in investment for our company to change from plastic straws to biodegradable straws for our company to run the business.
Okay, for the next question, I would like to ask to Mr. Farid. He asked the WWF Malaysia, which is worldwide for nature, can you explain the plastic effect to nature?
Alright, thank you to our moderator. So, the plastic waste that humans do not think twice about using mostly end up in the ocean. A pilot will and die due to ingesting 4.8 kg of plastic in 2015. After 3 years, in May 2018, an infant pilot whale was also found dead due to plastic in our waters. Plastic in the ocean also turns into microplastic. Marine life consuming microplastic means that we also consuming it. Zooming even closer to home is the recent circulating news on the alarming mountain of plastic waste in Jejarum, Malaysia. It further reinforced WWF Malaysia notion of reducing single-use plastic and the total support of this replacement. So, Malaysia should also address and find solution for our own plastic waste, including the root cause of dependence on plastic and finding a sustainable solution to waste management. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Farid, for your explanation. Okay, the next question I would like to ask to our Dr. Dina. Okay, just now Ms. Hamiza stated that the disabilities need plastic straws to drink, and I wanted to ask you why plastic straw could affect back pain to our health.
The reason to the question is that a plastic straw was made by polypropylene. This chemical compound really sensitive to the level of temperature. Although the temperature is just rising a little, it could leach in our beverage and is dangerous to our body system. It could affect the estrogen level and endocrine system. Yes. Affecting endocrine system can cause genetic mutations and tumors. Last but not least, polypropylene can cause a problem with fertility and conceiving. It can mimic the female hormone estrogen, therefore causing an overload of it in the woman's reproductive body systems. That's all for me.
Thank you, Dr. Nina, for the explanation. It is incredibly new to me, and also I think for the audience, to know that plastic straw is very dangerous to our body, and it gives so much effect to our body. Another question I wanted to ask to Ms. Hamiza, which is what are the effects on some people who has disabilities on using metal straws?
People with disabilities fear that a growing effort to ban plastic straws will limit their accessibilities at restaurants or airplanes or at other service establishments. The bans are made to be proactive step in easing the burden that plastic waste has on our environment, but they also make life more complicated for people in the disabled community who rely on these tools. If people with disabilities or kids start using metal straws, it can get too hot or too cold, and can even be painful for those with symptoms like jitters. Other types of straws simply do not offer the combination of strength, flexibility, and safety that plastic straws do.
Thank you, Ms. Haniza, for your explanation. I think the audience could feel the same way what you feel because you are one of the users. And it's really important for them to know about that. I wanted to know what is Mr. Hafiz's reaction on this question, which is what will happen to the factory operation after plastic straws had been replaced?
Okay, thank you for the question. If the cost to operate a business increases because of the replacement, then it will not viable for the small businesses like mine. Unless there is a better option that will not affect us so much financially. Replacement without proper planning is going to be hurt many small business operators. And how much would change by replacing straw alone, as most plastic rubbish will ended up in a landfill or ocean instead of being recycled.
Another question to Mr. Hafiz. Okay, as the owner of the plastic factory, how do you make sure that your factory will operate even plastic straws has been replaced or banned?
I changed the process of making plastic straws to making paper straws, and so on. This is a step we take to make sure our factory goes as normal and there is no major loss. This makes our company follows the legal stipulation set by the government.
We may conclude, I think I would conclude that from the explanation from all our panelists, there are a lot of pros and cons that we got from them. And it is actually an informative, however, it is actually an argumentative explanation between them, which is there are two that doesn't agree with the replacement of the plastic straws, and there are also two from our panelists agree with the replacement of plastic straws. So I hope that the audience can know or differentiate between those explanations. Thank you very much.